y'all? I saw Robert Cohen's already on.
He is, but I'm not.
Good evening, sirs.
My phone died.
Well, that's not good.
I'm gonna need to check her outer on this.
I got it.
Tease.
I'm gonna make sure we get paid first.
Make sure we get our. I think it's like we're up to like 1/100000th of a penny per ad watched.
You were tonight, Robert. See, if you watch the whole ad, we actually get like 0.0000000000.
Almost the
Just a
value.
little patience.
All right, what do we got here?
There.
Ken, you need a refresher.
Yeah, may I please have a refresh?
Okay, I can hear us.
All right, we're good. Let's get this
We
started.
did it again,
Let's get
guys.
this party started.
It worked.
We figured out how to make sound come out of these microphones.
Good to see the bands back together on the live chat.
We got no sound here. Who's on? I actually figured out a way to get it up on here. I can't. We got
So
Eric
you gonna
Anderson.
do this, or am I gonna do this?
Well, I'm just putting it up so I can see. Last week I missed out on all the Plum sightings, the Plum season references.
Plums.
Apparently, I have hairy arms. They are in HD.
They look hairy.
That scares people.
Where's the T-shirt?
My pants get jacked up every once in a while, man.
AGH, Nasta. Am I saying that right? Keep me straight on that. I don't
You
want
keep asking him that every.
I
other
want to
week.
make sure that I have it right. By the time we air all the way across the pond, it's I've had a couple. Not now. By the time it airs there. Why don't we get this party started?
Let's do it.
Thank you for joining us on another Tuesday night from the Basement Podcast Studios of First Amendment Sports. I'm Ken Marangolo. He's Kevin Ricca.
Man, I'm so happy to be back. Thanks for 3 weeks of vacation, boss. That's all I got, dude.
3 weeks.
Come on, man.
It was only 3 full weeks. I know. Well, he had banked
I'm
some.
only taking one.
You got some coming up. You got something to use. Use it or lose it. By the way,
I'm
you
using it
can't
next
you
week.
can't carry
I'm
it
using
over.
next week.
He's Tim
I will
Strachan.
not be here next week, guys. I'm sorry.
But you're not going to call in live from Florida,
From Disney World,
from the Caribbean resort.
I don't think I'm going to.
Oh, big mistake. Big mistake. You know what's my favorite place
Something
in the
tells
world?
me my wife's gonna have me busy at the time.
Yeah.
Wearing mouse ears and shit.
yeah. Exactly.
Well, I'm jealous. I wish I was going with you. I know you wish I was going with you as well. But that's it. We can talk about that.
I think you wish you were coming with us more than anything.
I just love Disney World.
I've never seen a grown adult get so excited about talking about Disney in my life.
It's the best.
Well,
what can I say?
I'm glad this isn't the preseason conversation because I'm not a big Disney guy.
I know.
Let's just leave
I
it there.
understand. I understand. We are on the
You're a
Audible.
curmudgeon. How could you not like Disney?
I don't know. I hate humidity lines and complete chaos.
It's a lot of people,
But it looks good on you,
but
though.
it looks good on you. Audible presents Offseason on the Brink. We are still in a very brinky offseason. Really, there's 2 topics for me tonight, and one's broader than the other. So let's start with the one that's not broad, and that is Trent Williams. He's no broad. He's really, to me, the Trent Williams conversation today is shifted to is this really about money? In modern athletics, general managers and front offices make problems go away if they want with money. In this situation, it seemed like we could all agree that there was money that you could use to give one of the best left tackles in the game to make this situation go away. My question to you guys is, and I'll let T lead it off, is this about money?
No.
Can it be resolved with money?
No. I don't think he's coming back. I don't think he wants to be here. I think he has definitively said, I'm done being a Redskin. And all the talk I'm hearing.
Oh, he has not said
all
that.
the talk I'm hearing.
He has not
It's
said
not
that.
about whether it's money or the training staff anymore. It's about, can he be worth a number 1 pick because I think he's going to get traded or he's not going to play.
So you know,
You should
same
have come to
question to
me
you.
first, and then we could have had this argument.
Well, same question to you. Is this
I
about
would
money?
have said it anyway.
Do you think it's about money?
Doesn't matter if I went first or not.
First of all, everything's about money, obviously, but here's my deal. He's able to do what he wants to do because he has plenty of money, not that he doesn't want more. Money could be something that made this problem smaller, but when someone misdiagnoses you, and you have to go through that whole scenario, it becomes about family, it becomes about self-preservation, and when you have that much money, I'm not certain how all those things feel because I'm certain Trent Williams at some level with baby kids thinks he could walk away.
Sure.
If family and such is more important to him than football. It's a scary-ass thing that I leave up to Trent. What scares me the most about the money, sorry, not even the money. What scares me the most is that this was a medical thing between the Redskins medical staff and the whole idea that, you know, the lady that is now in charge of the Redskins and the Nats, and that's a whole different ball of wax. She's new. That's going to cause a big shitstorm. Everyone knows that. I'm just being realistic. What scares the crap out of me is at this standoff that we're in between Trent Williams and the team, which I don't think has to do with the football side, has to do with the medical side. And I don't think Trent doesn't want to be a Redskin. He wants to see something happen. The man that is in between it all, the man that has to make it all work, or the men that have to, are named Bruce Allen and Daniel Snyder, and that gives me zero freaking confidence at any freaking level whatsoever. And that drives me nuts because if I put myself in Trent Williams' shoes and I was told to go do my job for 3 months and that what was up there was fine and then told later on that it wasn't fine and I put my whole family at risk for not having a dad around and it was my life, I understand his pain. I understand his anger. I do. I don't necessarily think it's towards the entire Redskins franchise. I think this is specifically towards the medical side of what happened. And you know what? It's a power struggle here. Is the new young lady the first female doctor in charge of a professional franchise who has the Nats and the Redskins under her belt right now worth firing? Or do we find a new tackle? Or is that the power struggle? And, and if that's the case, Bruce Allen's the wrong dude.
He's the wrong guy for a lot of reasons, not the least of which for that. But I think the line that Trent has drawn is a very hard one for him to cross. You know, if he's basically said, I don't trust Bruce,
but
I don't
not in the
trust
locker
doctors.
room, right?
But again, on the business side,
those guys have his back still.
Of course,
right.
Of course. But that is you know, I don't think that was ever in question, and B, I don't
Agreed.
think that's really the calculation here. Because to me, on one hand, you see athletes put themselves in this position all the time and come back with the contract they wanted. And this move is part of the playbook of the modern athlete.
Without a doubt.
He's 30 years old. This is his chance to get one big contract. I get it. But the line that he's drawn publicly, and that's now coming out in multiple sources, is against the franchise, the owner, the GM, the way in which they've handled him. I would say I'm believing that he doesn't want to play here anymore, first and foremost. And if I'm believing that,
unless something happens.
Well, that's what happens.
Anything.
I also don't think it's all hate.
If Daniel Snyder says, you know what, you're fired and you're fired, and I want
That's
Trent
not gonna
Williams.
happen. It's not gonna
I'm not
happen.
saying it is. I'm not saying that's
I don't
even,
think it's all
I'm not even
hate
saying that's
either.
even relevant to the.
I don't necessarily think it's all hate towards the Redskins either, in that he is 31. He is one of the top tackles in the league. I think he wants to go somewhere with a team and an organization that's closer to winning it all.
He has the money to sit out this year and maybe extend his career an extra year or two.
Sure.
On the back end.
He could play.
Right.
There's a
There's
number of ways
rumors
you
out
can
there
play
the
it safe.
Patriots are extremely interested. If
As
that's
are the
true,
Texans, as are the
sure.
Browns.
What would you do as Trent Williams? Would you maybe take that chance to want to go play for the Patriots in the next
If
4 or 5
he's trying to
years,
force
if you
his
can do
way
that?
to a contender, I don't buy that about Trent Williams.
I'm just saying I think it's in the equation.
I think he's trying to get a top contract at pretty much the last opportunity to
If
get
his
one.
hate for
Which
this
is now, not in
organization
2
right now is
years.
so
Yeah.
strong as we are being told or led to believe,
Yeah,
then
but
yes, part
do
of
you
the
guys
equation is I want to go somewhere where they're a winner.
And it's what you believe. If you're negotiating and you're playing hardball against the two creepiest, slimiest dudes in professional sports, which is what he's doing, you got to be able to fight fire with fire. You got to be able to play dirty pool when the freaking balls get queued up.
So if there's more than one team calling, like the headline today that the Redskins aren't even listening to offers, that's obviously a BS headline.
But they should say that But
Of course they should.
But at this point, they're not going to get every day that creeps past. They lose a little bit of bargaining power.
I totally agree with that. There's been commenters on Hogs Haven that have disagreed with me on this. If the league believes that Trent Williams is never going to play for the Redskins again, that hurts the Redskins' trading position.
Absolutely.
So if this thing drags into the regular season, no, we're not getting what we want out of this trade if that's the way this thing is going to go. I have to get a first-round pick for Trent Williams. Plus, someone said today a first and a sixth.
I think it's going to come down to the team that loses somebody that they can't afford to lose a week or two before the season.
I think Trent Williams can
who's
start
the
over most
Vikings?
guys.
There's always a team that is desperate at some point because something unfortunate happens. Then I think the tides change.
But there's teams like the
Because they
Redskins
need
right
him
now
now.
who have a guy like Donald Penn as their left tackle. There's teams right now who would say, and then Donald Penn's not going to be offended. If the Redskins traded for Trent Williams to be our starting left tackle when we had Donald Penn signed, the least surprised person on the team is going to be Donald Penn. I mean, there's people in the league who have Donald Penn-type guys as their starting left tackle. Right now, you're talking about the Texans who have space to bring him in. You're talking about the Browns who have shown interest in bringing Trent Williams in. And the Patriots are always going to be involved when the stated value, the market value that's being floated around is less than what it should be. Because someone said that he could go for a second-round pick. If Trent Williams is available for a second-round pick, I guarantee you that the New England Patriots would gladly give up a second.
Who was the Hall of Famer? Gary Zimmerman, I believe, in a similar situation with a contract holdout.
Yes.
He got a second, a third, and a fifth.
Yes.
Would that satisfy you guys?
A first and a fifth. What do you say?
Second,
That comparison
a
was made on
third,
radio
and a
today.
fifth.
It was a good comparison.
Sure, I would do that. I mean, I'm at this point in
Damn,
time,
dude.
I want
Then
the first.
we better put
It may get to that.
put Haskins in a shoebox.
It may get
for
to
the
that.
season.
Understood. But I mean, again, it comes down to whether you believe Trent's playing here again or not. If you think that's the deal, if he has drawn the line,
I don't think anyone knows shit, and he's out there saying everything he's supposed to say.
yeah, he's got his stance and
right.
he's hardening it, and the Redskins have their stance and they're hardening it.
Yeah.
It's not going a great way for all of us. Would love to have Trent Williams on the field for the Washington Redskins in Week 1. That would be
With no
priority number one.
problems, with no drama, with
Yeah.
just because
So
that's the way it's been his entire career, except for
is he on the field as a Redskin in Week
When
1?
he got
the suspensions were bad. But
Is he on the field for the Redskins in Week 1?
no.
I still say no.
I mean, I can't sit here and say yes.
Sure.
You know, it's a, but I'm not.
If you
as-
had to bet, if you were a betting man, you were a betting
no,
man.
gun to my head, I can't say yes.
Yeah.
There's
But I
even
also,
speculation
but I,
out there
but
he's
I
not-
can't
he's
just
not
say like
healthy enough.
absolutely
Sure.
not.
We talked about that.
There's no doubt about that.
And that's why
There's no doubt about it. That's why he doesn't mind. Hey, him sitting out a year, what's it really going to cost them?
he can still play next year.
Then next spring, there's a draft. We can make a deal with the Patriots or the Browns or the Texans or whoever else pops up.
And he
we
has to
might
get-
have a chance to get a little more out of him when he's healthy.
He has to get passed by the same people he's been crushing
Right.
publicly for the last 2 months.
Yeah, I mean, what,
Kind of know how that's going to go.
what's more easy to find, Daniel Snyder, a new team of doctors, or the best left tackle on the planet? Now I know that's not that easy. It's not, obviously, but you know, at some level of discussion, that's part of it.
I think that the Redskins are the last team in the world to have a principled stand and for everyone to buy into it and believe it. So, because I think they're going to start selling us on some things. I think here's your tells. This is what Dan Snyder and Bruce Allen do, and they do it well. You're going to start hearing about, the fact that he's not going to be playing at all this year. That he won't. That the team is going to move on. They're going to start touting. We're going to start hearing about young Jaron Christian. We're going to get all kinds of
Right
stuff
now,
about
Jaron Christian and Flowers are our starting left side.
Yeah, and we're going to get a lot of down. I mean, we're going to start to hear
That
the words
does not
and language.
make me feel good.
No, of course not.
Has anyone punted on second down in NFL history before? Or third down, or do we just quick kick a lot?
Quick kick.
Yeah.
That happens
Because
with third.
I'm sorry, but each season to me is special. Each week is special, and without Trent Williams on board this year, no matter what we get in a draft bounty,
We're
I
worse
think
off.
we need a player, man.
So the other idea about trading Trent and getting a player back in a draft pick, I'm weary of that. For example,
I am too.
we're getting someone. Are we going to get someone else's Trent Williams, another guy who's just not happy and a great player who'll play well for us? Or are we going to get somebody
How
else's?
do you replace the lead of the lot?
Oh, yeah, I'm not even talking about position-wise.
But just the leader of the whole. All these guys have his back. I think the idea is for this guy to just bring down this whole house of cards.
Yeah.
Could Trent Williams bring down the medical staff and Bruce Allen and be the hero, the Robin Hood?
That's what we
steal
hoping
from the
for.
rich and give to the poor, because that's what we are right
That's what
now.
I'm been praying for on Hogs Haven. But I think that the idea that
If he does that, that could align him at the very top of the Redskins.
Ring of Honor,
Yeah.
he'd be the ring. It'd be Trent Williams.
You know how many
ring.
pictures of Daniel Snyder and Trent Williams there would be on every media outlet from here to damn,
Yeah,
you name
he
it?
would be our next general manager. I mean, he'd be a lifer.
Right.
He would be. I mean, everything
Snyder
would
would
be
be
about Trent Williams
piggybacking Trent around and
forever. I am not looking for a player in return for Trent Williams. He's an older guy that we put a first-round draft pick into and got a ton out of. This organization is not one player away from anything. We need draft picks, and I understand that we're giving those draft picks to Bruce Allen. I get it. But that's what this team
care about
needs.
that.
I'm just saying. I'm not.
I
I'm
care
not
about
looking-
having no tackles week
Oh,
4.
of course. But it becomes a situation where that's really not even. That's also not part of the calculation. I mean,
It has to be at some level.
but if Trent's not going to play, he's not going to play. That's the only thing.
We talked about Trent Williams getting to year 36, and
Yeah.
that's where the drop-off
Yeah,
happens.
sure.
So his replacement's already there. And
No.
Flowers and Christian are the other two answers. Like,
This isn't about
how do
who
we
we
line
prefer
up?
or what do we want.
I know.
That's all I'm saying. If a
I know.
player won't play, that's why I always go back to the Champ Bailey thing. And I think people are waking up more to what happened with Champ Bailey. We got Clinton Portis, and we also gave up a second-round pick. We gave up a Hall of Fame corner and a second-round pick for a pretty good running back. And it's still to this day a terrible deal. But Champ Bailey went to the Washington Redskins, away from the press, away from the cameras and microphones, and said, I can't stay here. I'm gone. It was a personal, private matter with his family.
His
and trust
wife
me,
was done.
It was over. I'm
Finished.
never playing another down for the
We
Washington
all,
Redskins.
we all know what that means.
Thank goodness they got the deal they got. And I'm just saying, I think this is starting to me to shade more in that direction.
I think there's a few more things at stake, like a human being's life. You know, not just an unhappy wife. You know,
Well, but understood. But all I'm saying is, if the end result is the same, if he actually does say and mean, I'm never playing here again, then the Redskins have to get the best they can. And to me, that's draft picks, not players.
all right, well, I'd like to get them next year. And I'd rather Trent Williams sit out and then get some serious draft picks when the time happens.
Okay.
Right before the draft, when it matters, when everyone's wheeling and dealing with a whole new slate, as opposed to this. Like, okay, we're not just going to cough up a first and a third right now. No one is.
So
I can't imagine that.
I'll play the waiting game
I
for
still
that.
think there's a chance.
That someone shows up with a first and a
Yeah.
third, or a first and
I
something.
think there's a chance because, again, something's going to happen. Someone's going to be in a bind. Someone who needs a Trent Williams come in
Yeah.
there and would give up a first for it. It would have to be dire, but that's happened.
Yep.
We've been there.
God, this is depressing.
It's not good going into the season.
No.
I've been
this
on
situation.
vacation ignoring it, hoping
With
that
with a lot of
I'll
with a
get an
lot of
alert
other
one day.
question marks, as I've been talking about for weeks now. There's a lot of question marks. I think there could be some huge, very pleasant surprises out of those question marks. But this one is I don't see much pleasantry coming out of this in any way, shape, or form.
Here's what I do like: the two most definitive guys about him never playing again, and everything's horrible about, are Stuart Cravens and Jason Locke and Fora.
Yeah.
I wouldn't let those two guys order me a sandwich
Yeah.
if I was starving. So,
Yep.
You know, and I get it. It's the message.
Cravens
not, it's
doesn't
the
deserve-
message, not
Name the sandwich,
He
James.
doesn't even deserve the airtime.
Exactly. No, but you know what? It's true about this. You know, there's some weird shit going on,
Yeah.
and some of the players feel like they have to do something about it. I think that's evident, and I think that the lead dog has taken the reins on this. And you know, there's a lot of stuff that none of us would have ever any clue about. I get that. You know, none of us are experts. None of us are part of that situation. We don't even know the man. But it feels to me like every day these guys are backing his play. Adrian Peterson's one of his best friends in the world saying, this is stunting the growth of the quarterback, stunting the growth of the O-line, terrible for the running backs, and horrible for the franchise in general. You know? Shit.
I know.
That's where we're at. I was on vacation. I could dream this away. So, you know what? How about you dial up something that makes us chuckle?
well,
a
let's
little
go.
bit?
Let's
There
talk
was
about.
a second thing you wanted to talk about.
Well, I want to talk about the preseason. You know, we had a contest, a game in Cleveland. Who I am loaded up on. If I was a gambling man, which I may or may not be, I would definitely own.
I'm going to take this bet at some level.
I own the
Not
Browns.
financial. We'll do this on here.
I have bet on the Browns.
I
this
feel
season.
so
bullish
happy.
on the Browns.
I feel so happy for the Dog Pound and Cleveland Brown fans that they're about to be treated for the next I don't know how many years to a lot of fun.
My favorite player in the league,
I am
not
not
wearing
so
burgundy
sure,
gold, is Baker
gentlemen.
Mayfield.
I am not so sure.
Really?
Well, I spoke with the gentleman who was a assistant coach for the Cleveland Browns last year, a part of the league-wide tutorial coaching system, placing guys in places. And I will tell you this, that I'm a Baker Mayfield guy coming out of college. And so much that my dad and I argued about it, and I was like, no, this guy's got the stuff. And I do believe that. He needs what I like to refer to as the NFL humble. He needs, in this game, will humble him. And then he will be a great player. He needs to get through that first. You cannot just talk this much trash and be this brash and get away with it in this. No
While
one.
you were at the beach,
no
I
one
flipped.
No, I'm not. I've always been a Baker guy. I'm just telling you.
We've almost
in this league,
by each other.
you cannot get away with doing what he's doing on a weekly basis.
Joe Namath
unless. No, he didn't. He was the most overrated quarterback of all time. He had one good day where he talked a little crap through for about 180 yards. He got handed an MVP, and now he kisses everyone on the sidelines. God bless him for recovery. I'm happy for him. I think Baker Mayfield needs a big dose of humble before he gets to that next level. And right now, you're calling out this guy, that guy, the running back, the coach, everyone. The defense in Cleveland was told he's untouchable. And after that, he talks so much trash to these cats out there, his teammates. He just doesn't know any better. I think he needs a tad bit of humble before he gets to that next level. And there could be some stuff happening with those egos. 2 diva wide receivers and a diva quarterback. I'm sorry.
Oh, there's a lot that could go wrong.
That is not your formula.
There's a lot that could go wrong.
That is not
lot
your
I
formula.
said it from the standpoint of I am so happy for the Cleveland Brown fans that I think are about to be treated.
I think they go 8-8. I'm calling Cleveland 8-8 right here, right now.
I think they deserve it.
Cleveland
for all
Browns.
The Cleveland Browns 8-8 deserve it.
For all the things that
And
can
someone
go wrong in
punches Baker
Cleveland,
Mayfield in
I
the
will
face.
tell you right now, there's plenty of
That's
reasons
very
why it could go very, very right in Cleveland. Their defense is loaded with young, amazing talent.
True.
At the cornerbacks especially. I mean, that kid they drafted, Greedy Williams, who I think is going to be a great player, alongside Denzel Ward, who I also think is one of the best cornerbacks in the league.
Yeah.
They've been drafted high on defense. Myles Garrett's going to have, I think, a very good
He's
year.
an animal.
I
love their D.
Their
offense
defense
is very talented.
is going to be very good. It's going to give the offense a lot of chances. I think Nick Chubb's a very good running back. Kareem Hunt's coming off suspension midway through. They're not too bad at wide receiver with Beckham and Jarvis Landry.
If
all
you
the
cater
pieces are
to
there.
talent and not to culture, there's going to be a tear.
Well, we'll
That's
see.
what I'm saying. That's
We'll
what I'm
see.
saying. I know.
I
I want you to
I
say it.
can't
I want all of us
believe
to say
you.
this.
I can't
think,
believe we
look,
have flipped on
you
this.
You have 3 young buck talented guys on one offense, and all of a sudden one thing goes. Where do you see
More than that.
Well, when OBJ goes over there and does whatever he does to the kicking net, and then it all starts, aren't you going to be like, oh, here we go? What's he got this year? I'm just saying.
We'll see.
I said 8-8. I
possible.
didn't say 4-12.
I
I
know.
said 8-8, and I think he needs a big fat dose of NFL humble before he can get to that
might be
next
right.
level.
But it's
I just
possible.
don't think he
I also think it's
gives a
possible that he could be
shit.
given the one humble out. I mean, I think it's possible that
Well,
he
I'll
could be
take that bet.
It's possible he
I
could
will
be giving
take
out the
that
humble.
bet without. I'm not talking about a cash figure. Let's do something that.
And the
someone has to
Washington
do.
Redskins had a chance to be in their house with some loud and rambunctious Cleveland fans in the preseason opener.
Oh please!
And I
We didn't
hated
start a starter
watching the
on defense.
crawler say Dwayne Haskins throws 2 interceptions in his first pro game. That's why
Let's get to the fun part.
the
of
whole
this.
part of the preseason to me is ruined when you call a preseason game a pro game. So I think we're all on the same page on a variety of levels. To me, that's the dumbest thing ever. A lot of guys were dressed up, playing costume, day. Then no one was really playing that night.
Not one defensive starter.
Not one
Then
defensive
Baker
starter.
comes out, they go 5 wide. Now he's taking pictures in the end zone. I've almost had enough. Like
I love
I had a big feel.
never have enough.
Listen, I like being ballsy. I like having the guts but I think he's crossed the line with this. Listen, if you're going to be that ballsy and that tough and that arrogant and talk that much trash, don't let me hit the Google machine and watch a spindly ass security guard wreck your ass in open field. I'm sorry,
that's a
but
big
I don't
thing
know
on his
another.
resume.
Do you know another NFL quarterback
Well-
that's been taken down by a security guard?
I will say your
on the
opinion on
computer
Baker
machine?
Mayfield is lodged officially.
I know.
I disagree.
I love his game.
I disagree.
I love his game. I think what's going on up here right now.
It's possible.
I said what I said a year ago. When Baker Mayfield gets a little bit of money, wait till you see how crazy he gets.
It's
now,
possible.
I'm not saying he can't back it up, but this is a humble league. He's going to be humbled this year.
AGH wants to talk Redskins.
Well,
Me too.
Getting back to what you were saying,
because
though,
this is the
getting
best
back
part.
to your six-pack, I agree. You went to some extremes with the Pro Bowl comparison and stuff like that. Yeah, no, you did.
Well, it's because it's
But I
also
think
a
you're
terrible
on,
NFL product.
I think you're on to something, right? I think there's actually a little bit more to a preseason game than what you were talking about in your article, in that there are some guys, one, who are trying to make a roster, right? There are some guys that are trying to make a roster, and two, there are some guys that are trying to establish themselves as something to be a force in this league because they're young and they're unproven. Even the interceptions by Haskins, okay, it doesn't matter that he threw two interceptions. It really doesn't matter. What matters is that he goes back and looks at it again about 50 times
and learns from
realize correct. He realizes, where else am I supposed to put this ball the next time? I need to put a little bit more. Let my guy go get it. That kind of stuff. I mean, that's what the preseason's for. It's not the product so much of the play. It's the process of it.
Sure.
And are you getting it? Are you figuring it out? And that's what it's for. These coaches. That's why some people get one play, right? It's get out there, see the speed, feel it. I do think it's more game speed than what you were leading on. I think it is the best primer for getting ready for the season. Week 2 and 3 being a little bit better
in the current format.
In the
The second and third preseason
Correct.
games are the
Correct.
ones that matter.
So there was a lot of positives. In my opinion, the biggest positive was Jimmy Moreland.
Yeah.
There's no doubt about
Well,
it.
he was
Yes,
studly.
he's playing against some second teamers and whatever.
I don't care. I don't care about that.
When
either.
you're that productive at that level and at any speed that the game is, preseason or whatever, that's ridiculous.
We hit on that guy.
Ooh, it's
That's a
gonna
big
be
hit.
so fun.
He
gonna
was
be so fun.
6th round, Jimmy?
I believe he was 7th.
Was he 7th? What was Tim Settle? 5th?
Yeah.
Because and James beat me to it, but I was going to say another guy on defense that I think is going to be a factor is
Holcomb?
a big, super strong defensive tackle. That we have them in spades. I thought Settle jumped off the screen, James. I really do. And Jimmy was a 7th round draft pick. On defense, I'm just not worried.
Hold on a second.
But
You
go
can't
ahead.
get the defense yet. You haven't even asked me about preseason or anything. I leave for a couple weeks.
Well-
You guys just talk about. No, we're talking about Baker Mayfield. I just told my 2 cents.
Well,
that was the funnest preseason game I watched
that's what
as a
we're talking-
Redskins
we're talking
fan.
about that game.
As a Redskin
Settle.
fan, that was the funnest preseason game I've watched because of this. It was clearly evident. Anyone who's looking for like the stat line or the results or the blah 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 with Dwayne Haskins has something wrong with him, and they're not looking at the right thing.
He belongs in the pros.
I was completely thrilled by, first of all, his body type.
Sure.
It looked like he looked way more sleek than he did in college.
But still big.
Still hulking, but
Yes.
sleek. I don't know if he's lost weight or whatever. Quicker.
It's like a Spanx for the NFL player.
The number 7 helps with that tall physique. His mobility. Well, everything far exceeded my expectations from watching him in college and watching him in high school, man. We're right here.
Yeah.
Everything that I saw, I couldn't believe that he was throwing the ball on the run with a flick of the wrist. We've never had a quarterback that could do that. I'm sorry, 27 yards. He's jogging to the right. It looked like it took zero effort for him to chuck that ball to Kidsey. His first play.
Yeah.
I went, whoa. Accuracy on the run was not his thing at Ohio State.
Spinning.
For a true
he's got
pocket
that.
passer, he looked way
I
more
don't
mobile,
worry about his
way more
accuracy
quick.
at all.
But on the run has been his thing. That's been documented. That's what we read. Not my analysis, but that's something that we've been told. Louis Riddick's big thing is he needs to work on his accuracy on the move and blah, blah, blah. I was shocked by his arm strength at the pro level. And I know it was against other guys, but when he hit the honey hole there in the cover 2, the Kidsey deep, and he fumbled, whoa, we have not had a guy that's done that.
Yep.
And he did it effortlessly. It wasn't even the tools this guy has. I'm thinking differently about him. I'm not talking about this year. I am not talking about this year. I think we have a perennial Pro Bowl superstar in our hands. a true drop-back passer with an absolute rifle cannon. And the way he handled the media afterwards, and they're trying to hammer him about the interceptions, was as if he has done it for 10 years. I couldn't believe it. This guy has something going for him that completely shocked me, that I was not ready for, that I am so excited about.
Yeah.
That was the first
He looks
time
like
I
he
watched.
belongs.
I don't give a shit about the numbers. I don't give a shit about the picks.
But you don't want him to play this year.
Robert Davis ran a terrible rub route. We all watched Baldy's shit and all the stuff.
But you don't want Haskins playing this year.
Not if Trent Williams isn't out there. If Donald Penn's 39-year-old billion ass is out there playing left tackle and Flowers is on the left guard, like, yo, no. Well, let's put him in a box and keep him till next year.
okay
Put him
with
in
that.
second round.
I'm
I'm not saying I believe that.
It's a
bit
process
shtick.
for
It's a bit
Haskins,
shtick.
and I think he gets that.
And he knows it. And he
Right.
knows it.
Which is why it's not a mission day one type of situation.
Oh,
that we're
shit,
looking
no.
at.
No, but we got a guy,
if
dude.
at some point this season it's time to say, let's roll, they'll do that.
Yeah.
But that's when the time is right. And the time is not going to be.
And
day
everyone
one
says Case
Well, I
Keenum's
don't
the
know.
best quarterback in
Philadelphia.
camp. You know,
Against
for-
Philadelphia.
Fine, of course.
Yeah.
Well,
It's
he's the most
not without
comfortable
Trent
quarterback.
Williams. It's not going to be that night.
No, I don't want
It's not gonna be that
to.
night.
Listen, without Trent Williams, all right, let's take the Trent Williams things out for 1 second.
No,
I brought it in. My mistake.
I still don't want Haskins on the field.
I'm telling you this. Dwayne Haskins is absolutely the future of this franchise, and we have a guy
He's gotta be.
that is. Forget about that. I know he's got to be as a fan, as a guy who loves the quarterback position and has watched. We have not had a guy that made that second throw to Kidsey when he fumbled. We have not had a guy that rolled out effortlessly and flicks the ball. That arm is a dangerous weapon, and it's accurate.
And he squares his shoulders in the pocket, and he steps up into it. A couple of the runs he had were between the tackles.
He looked way better than I imagined.
Yeah, and he's not frail. You know, when we had an athletic quarterback, the last time we had a first-round athletic quarterback, he could get broken by a stiff breeze. That ain't Haskins.
Not wearing that number 7
Who
looks so
we won Super
smooth
Bowls
on
with?
him.
Guys like Doug Williams
Oh my
and Mark
God.
Rippon, who are monsters.
Well, and Joe Theismann
Pocket passer
returned punts.
monsters. Well,
So
Joe
you gotta give
Theismann
him-
won it because of Riggins.
you
But
got a little,
And that's
get a
why I
little
love
tougher
it.
there.
He's a pocket passer
Yep.
monster, but with the necessary athleticism that he needs to keep him in the pocket.
So what about wide receiver? So let's cover a couple other positions before we call it quits tonight. At wide receiver, there's a lot going on. Everyone is constantly wanting to talk about Doxson. I don't care. I want the best.
he's not going to make the team. So
However
don't
many
talk
6 or
to him.
7 guys are you making
gonna
making the
make
team?
it. I don't think
We'll
he is.
see. We'll see. We'll see.
He's gonna make
about
All right, I'll
that,
take
but-
that bet too. He's definitely making this.
I've
team.
said that all along. He
I
doesn't
thought
make the team.
I know,
Cam
but you're
Sims
stubborn. You're a stubborn mule.
was fun to watch.
Yeah.
And I thought Robert Davis was fun
Is
to
Doxson
watch.
better than Cam Sims?
Probably.
All right. I'm not saying
Yeah.
I'm right or wrong. I'm asking.
Yeah, I mean,
No.
he's a different. Cam Sims isn't as big as Josh
I'm all in
Doxson.
on it.
I know, but you're
I'm
so
all in on a
stubborn.
lot of stuff
All right.
tonight.
I'm not. All right. How about this? How about Dwayne Haskins throwing the ball to Kidsey freaking 4 times in a row and a connection? That's got to help Kidsey's case.
Yep.
I'm sorry. I know he's not supposed to be someone that's supposed to be in the mix, but man, do they have a connection.
I want to see, to me, the biggest player on offense that's going to make a difference in our record this year is Darius Geis. He technically, I don't think cleared all the way. It's supposedly
he
in
has not
any
been cleared
second.
yet.
Could be
As
whenever.
of today, he was not cleared.
I'm not clearing him before the game on Thursday. I'm probably not clearing him at all for this preseason.
That may just be cautionary. I mean, they may know
It's
what they have.
absolutely
They
cautionary.
I'm
may
pretty
know
sure
what
it's
they have.
cautionary.
Hopefully, it's a situation of they know what they have. There's no reason to put it out there.
James, it's not about whether Cam Sims or Josh Doxson suck. I think not.
They do.
If we're lucky, Terry McLaurin
I'm-
is going to
I'm
be a
with James.
starting wide
I think
receiver for this
Doxson
team.
sucks.
I couldn't believe you didn't say Terry.
think
He
he
doesn't
sucks.
suck. Doxson doesn't suck.
I think he's a bust.
Well, he's a bust. That's a fact. I'm not going to argue with that.
To
A
me,
first
it's
round
Terry
pick, he's a bust.
McLaurin.
I can't
That's
believe you
the
didn't say
future
Terry
of our wide
McLaurin
receiver
earlier.
position.
I can't believe when we said receivers, you
I
didn't
know.
mention that. I was
Well,
waiting for you to say it.
He's a future. He's a legitimate prospect. One of the things, I don't know. We just don't talk about him because we talk about Haskins and we talk about all these other. We talk about Montez Sweat.
I can't wait to talk about Terry McLaurin.
Terry McLaurin was a guy who came out of college based on physical, and toughness and leadership.
Special teams, leadership with the ability to make plays.
And then he came to the combine and dropped a 4.38 40. He had an awesome vertical jump, and
What size were his hands?
they're the appropriate size.
Stop.
He's
That
going
was your
to
fault.
factor in at the level
He was going
right
there
away.
anyway.
He's going to be able to run every route. To me, Terry we can argue about Josh Doxson and Cam Sims all day because we're not talking about the meat and heart of what I think is going to be this receiving game.
I
And
thought we
think
were
Terry
I thought we
McLaurin-
were just going to turd beat to start off and rise up the ladder.
Well, Terry
It's Terry
McLaurin,
McLaurin, baby.
is the man.
Hey, you know how some guys in college basketball get 13 a game? They get drafted 15th in the first round. Everyone's like, what the hell? Then their game translates in the NBA way better than college. I think that's what we got in our hands with
Hopefully.
Mr. Terry
Hopefully.
McLaurin.
You're right.
Because his route running,
I think
the
Sims
key
is
in the
that guy
NFL,
too.
the key in the NFL is separation in route running. And from what I understand, ain't no one doing it like Terry McLaurin out there.
No, and I think Cam Sims fits that same mold, and I think Trey Quinn fits that mold, and I do not think Doxson fits that
Well,
mold.
those two
in
guys
any
aren't
way, shape, or
separators, and
form.
Doxson is. Doxson's a separator.
It-
I'm not saying he catches it. I'm not saying,
Doxson
I'm
is
not
just
saying he's
a
producer.
non-factor.
I'm not saying he's a producer. I think Trey Quinn will be a producer.
We've kept
He's a
Trey Quinn
crafty
will
ass.
absolutely be
I'm
a
with
producer.
you on that.
We've
all he
kept
does.
we've kept guys
all he
way
does.
worse than Josh Doxson every single year at our sixth or seventh wide
He's going
receiver
to be
spot.
our Welker, our Edelman for years to come.
I hope you're right, but he has 9 catches, so he hasn't
Yep.
done it yet.
He's
I get
he's
that.
got to prove it.
I said
But I
there's
believe
a lot
in
of
that.
question
I believe
marks.
in that.
But I
believe
think
in
there
that.
are a lot of potential pleasant surprises. The biggest potential surprises is going to be at the wide receiver. If some of these guys can step up and be half of what we've had, recently, we're in good shape. But it's a big question mark.
When Jay Gruden says the main reason we drafted McLaurin when we did is because we knew he'd have the ability to blossom into an NFL receiver, but right now he'd be one of our best special teams players, as he was in college football this year. And now he's saying, well, we're hoping that Kidsey can come along on special teams because when you're a starting wide receiver, you're not playing on every special teams. Now we might need another wide receiver to do it. Now they're talking about keeping 7. That's because of what McLaurin's done at this camp, and I freaking love it.
Terry McLaurin is going. I mean, here's the where I teased a little bit of fantasy. I know these guys hate fantasy, but
I don't hate it.
Terry McLaurin
I hate
gets me
fantasy
into the
obsession.
fantasy football conversation because he should be drafted for nothing. Anyone who's a Redskins fan should not be the person missing out. He's the guy in the NFL. He's going to have a high amount of targets by the time that it's all said and done. He's going to have a high success rate with those targets, a good efficiency number, and he's going to get yards after the catch. So in a league where you can no longer be as physical as you once were, if you give the ball, if you give the ball to Terry McLaurin on the outside and ask him to he's going to love to bang up against any cornerback that's trying to tackle him. He's going to get yards after the catch, and he's going to get yards after contact. To me, he's a fantasy player in year 1 because he's the guy that you draft at the end, all the way at the end, because no one else is going to do it. And all of a sudden, you're starting him by week 3 or 4.
Can we draft Donald Penn on defense? Because he might have a lot of tackles this year.
He's going to have
Because we're
quite
going
a
to
few
need Trent
tackles.
Williams to be there for Terry McLaurin to do that. Or someone besides Donald Penn.
We'll see.
I'm so worried. I'm sorry to be negative.
No. Hey, it's a reality. Our offensive line is 1,000 times worse.
You're
without
feeling the pain,
Trent
man.
Williams.
You've been away. You've
I've
been on
ignored it.
vacation.
I've ignored it.
You had your shirt off, drinking cocktails.
I'll take my shirt off right now.
You know,
Finish the show.
and now you're back into the real world, and reality's hitting you a little
Shirt's
harder
back
tonight.
on.
That's okay. We get it. We understand.
Do I have to wear pants?
No pants ever. Come on, you know this is a no pants show. We're only being videoed from the table up. Benjamin, although you can kind of see, we got to pull his.
Yeah,
feel
you
kinda
guys
like
give a lot of weird
this is-
Benjamin
this is
references.
getting-
I'm about to steal Benjamin and hide him in storage for a while. I won't hurt him.
What?
I won't
Don't
hurt him.
hurt him.
won't
He's
hurt
been
him,
like a
but-
brother to you all these years.
I don't know. No, but we don't get along at all. It's
That's
weird.
not
It's
true.
It's a weird bit.
never
The
been
Benjamin
true.
bit is a weird bit.
It's
Not
never
gonna
been
lie.
true. I've known him forever.
Fantastic.
There you go. You were the one that brought him up.
I just want him to sit right over there.
No.
Give Tia's Caps jersey back. We'll be fine.
We do need. We
No,
can.
Benjamin's wearing it.
Yeah, he's been rocking it
Benjamin's
for
good.
quite some time.
God, if I hear that name said one more time, on
You're
this
right,
show, I'm gonna freak
James.
out.
Stop. It did the 2-dimensional. My hand was really out here, but it looked like it was in a whole different space on video. We'll try not to meme that for us. We appreciate that in advance. Any other positives from the?
What
Cole
happened?
Holcomb. Cole Holcomb chasing the dude down, but the 6-inch line to let
HGH likes him too.
Jimmy get up in the mix, have 2 pass breakups and force one of his 2 forced fumbles. That was cool to see 2 rookies playing
That
defense
stat line
like that.
is ridiculous.
Yes, it
I don't
is.
care if it's preseason.
I agree.
I don't care if
I
it's
agree.
CFL. I don't care what the hell kind of football you're
He's
playing.
different.
He is different. He is different.
I don't care if he's 5'11", 5'7", or 6'3". I want him on my team, my foxhole, wearing burgundy and gold.
And the faithful live that follow our show on chat and contribute to the show have already named him Mason Brennan Award winner of the year.
Jimmy Moreland?
Yes.
Oh, he's a factor and absolutely
He may
a
be
candidate.
the first. Yeah, he may be the first one to take it this early.
I think he might have outgrown this award.
In many respects, he might have. He might have, other than the fact that he's a 7th round pick.
True.
And
What
when
a
you're
great
picked there,
thing.
you're wondering whether you're making the roster. Right now, we're wondering we're wondering whether he's starting on the outside or the inside.
They had him
Because
starting
he's
on the
starting
outside.
At, He's starting at one of them.
They had Fabian Moreau on the inside
That's
and him
amazing.
on the outside.
That's
I
amazing.
was shocked by
Yeah.
that.
It's good to have depth there
Yeah.
at the cornerback position. So, and
That's the
I would
biggest-
to
that's
answer
the
the question
biggest
from
positive.
AGH: is there a chance a good left tackle gets cut? Absolutely. I mean, let me answer the question though. Let me phrase it differently: is there a chance a left tackle who could start for us that gets cut between now and September? Yeah, that is absolutely a possibility. And I do believe that's what we have to do. We have to be out there looking for that guy to come in just to boost it up too.
We need 2 of them.
That's fine.
Yeah.
That's fine with me. I mean, we know we're going to play him. I mean, we've played every single offensive lineman we've ever suited up in the last 3 years, and then some. So, again,
What's your count at? 509,000.
yeah, it's
835
roughly speaking combinations.
Well, it was fun to talk about Jimmy Moreland.
Yeah, and
Terry McLaurin.
Holcomb and Terry
I love-
McLaurin.
I love
That is
Holcomb.
And Trey
that
Quinn.
for whatever it's worth. You got to agree, even Kevin. That is a part of what's good about preseason is you get a guy like Jimmy Moreland. You get a taste of some of
Hold
these
on.
guys.
Let me just say this. I now want to put Jimmy Moreland on the bench
That's
for the rest
fine,
of the preseason.
and I'm okay with that. And I'm okay with that.
Good.
But look, it
No, but
is
you're right.
it is football. They got the uniform on, and there are some guys
know.
out there playing their ass off for their life, for their dream.
Their experience. I get it.
And you do get a little bit of a taste of what we're about to be treated to in a few weeks.
You know, also
it's not just a complete throwaway. There's a lot of good stuff to look at in these games.
guys like us who watch and cover a lot of high school football, and we do, and we love it, and even the offenses in the league that we cover in the Washington Catholic Athletic are evolved, to say the least. The third, especially the fourth preseason game, to me, it resembles a lot of high school games I've watched. It's a ton of running. It's a lot of vanilla. I wish it was better because I do think, to me, one of the most compelling aspects of preseason to me is that there are spots up for grabs, and you do
That's
see
the
guys
cool part
fighting
about keeping. You don't have to cut down to
the very end. So that
the very
last
end.
game, you could potentially. It should be
you
the
got
best game.
guys who are this is their shot. This may be their only highlight of their career on ESPN.
But coaches won't run a
Listen,
fun
hold
offense
on.
in that game.
All right,
That's the only
May
problem.
I say something real quick?
Yeah, what
And
do you
this
got?
is my example, and I agree with what you guys are saying, and I understand it. But when our third team offense is out there, and the Cleveland Browns are running with a second team defense, a overload 4-side blitz scheme where we have 3 protectors on this side, and they shifted alignment, stunted 2 in the gap, and a delayed against 3. That offense has no chance in America to pick up that blitz. It is a high-level concept that these guys have never gone up against, and we don't scout it out. So these guys that are on offense that are fighting for their ass the same way you said they are unprepared for a blitz like that. And a team like Cleveland at home makes that their Super Bowl because that's what they need to do, and I don't blame them for that. To have Baker come out there, that's not a level playing field to me. All of a sudden, 2 O-linemen are in a position where they cannot succeed. They can only fail on a running back. There's 3 of them on the weak side. And Dwayne Haskins' final sack, he gets crushed below the knees.
Yeah.
And thank God both legs go flying out. You see them yank his ass out there right away? I went, oh, my God, they're running an overload on the weak side in the third quarter of a preseason game?
Yeah.
Congratulations, Cleveland. You're going to win the game 27-10. Have fun out there.
He's invested.
That's what
He's
drives
invested,
me.
T.
That's what drives me batshit crazy about the preseason.
You're right.
That's what gets me.
The injury thing is
I
always
watched
gonna
the
be
shit
there.
out of it.
I know
The
you are.
injury
I know
thing
you
is
do.
always going to be there, but
'Cause
there's
of Haskins.
always
Yeah.
something you can get from it, right? I mean, there's as a coach, it's bad TV. It's not fun for a fan.
Not that play,
to see
though.
a guy.
Not as a
well, no,
Redskin fan.
It's not good for a fan to see somebody that you're supposed to be invested in for years to come. Get a hit like that. But as a coach, you learn from that stuff. As a player, you learn from that stuff, and that's the only time in the preseason. As weird and twisted as it may sound, that a preseason game, you get that look. You get it on film. You learn from it, hopefully, right? And so Haskins is going to learn from a lot.
Hopefully he doesn't tear his
There's
ACL.
There's a lot of linemen is going to learn a lot. There's some defensive guys that are going to learn,
Yeah, but they didn't learn this.
Again, there's a
And they're
reason
in a
why
bad
there's a reason
position.
why McLaurin played one play.
Yeah.
It's to get him
The
on the
reason
field.
why Haskins got taken off after that play.
I'm not arguing that.
I'm just saying, if you can't compete,
I'm looking for
that's a
the
different
I'm looking
point.
for the good.
And AJ just
the
right.
reason
P.
why
Ryan
I watch
did miss
preseason game.
a huge block.
Yeah, there's a reason why
did.
McLaurin plays one play. It's to get him on the field and just experience that for one freaking play. All right, I see what it looks like, right? You got to envision it. That's all preseason is about.
Well, let me ask you guys this.
You got to be kind of wonky to really love parts of it.
I will give Robert Cohen, who was the first here, I'll give him the last word in terms of a send-out question. He's wondering if McCoy even makes the final 53. I'll say I think he makes the final 53, and I will go one step further, and I will tell you that if he has a chance of being healthy, there's part of Jay Gruden that is dying to start Colt McCoy in week 1. I fully believe that. I know Case Keenum has been one of the healthiest guys, and he's been the best quarterback playing for us in the preseason. But to me, head coaches in the National Football League have relationships with quarterbacks all the time. Jay Gruden has a relationship with Colt McCoy. I mean, people need to wake up and at least not sleep on that. Everyone thinks they know what's going to happen. Make sure if you think you know what's going to happen for the Washington Redskins quarterback situation, don't forget one thing: Jay Gruden and Colt McCoy are very, very close. Tons of confidence.
I'll tell you why Colt McCoy is going to make the 53. Because of Sanchez. They don't want to be in that situation again, right?
Mm-hmm.
They're going to keep McCoy, whether he's healthy enough to play or even start week 1. They're going to keep him regardless because you're right. Jay loves him. He's been in the system. He's a guy you can count on. And if and when, God forbid, things go the way they've gone in the last couple of years, you got a guy like Colt McCoy sitting at 3.
Well, I think I would be willing to bet on him as our starter in week 1 potentially because of that. And if we cut him,
hold on.
If we cut him,
my Colt McCoy in here.
if we cut Colt McCoy, someone picks him up. Go ahead.
Yeah, well, he's not healthy.
because he's
he
a
had
great
3
backup.
surgeries in the offseason.
That's right.
He came up, and it's a great question because yesterday he came up out of camp and walked off, and they
was
didn't know what
sore.
was wrong with him.
That's right.
Yeah, well, he hasn't been good. He's been sore. He's never really been the answer for us, aside from as a backup. We already have a backup, regardless of who you think it is. We've never kept 3, and it's a great question because
We have kept 3, haven't we?
never.
Well,
not with Jay Gruden.
Sudfeld.
This is the first time I ever thought. No, he got put on the practice squad and scooped up by the Eagles.
Oh, right.
Peace out, Nate Sudfeld.
the year before
it was
that
right
we
before,
kept
right
3.
after we played golf together, and he was a great guy. He went and retrieved all the balls.
yeah.
I told him to take the carpet. He jogged, and he had like size 97 skinny little pants on.
We let
Super
Kevin
nice
Hogan
kid.
go.
But I'm gonna tell you this: Colt isn't right.
Nice kid.
No.
Colt isn't right. Colt's not healthy. Colt's coming off multiple surgeries. Colt was never. It's the first time when I saw that yesterday, when I read that I thought, you know what? Colt might be in trouble. I'm not saying he is, or I know anything, but that's the first time I felt and thought that. So I think that's a great question.
Maybe
because
he starts on the pup because I don't think the
that's
Redskins
fair,
are parting
but
ways.
He certainly ain't starting week 1.
No, well,
I'm going to
that's-
tell you right now, he's not right.
That's fair.
He's not right.
He's not
right.
I just know when
If
these
he couldn't
offensive
play
guys.
last week, something's up.
Case Keenum is the best quarterback we've had in camp, and therefore he should be the starter.
But he
week
didn't
1.
play at all and walked off at practice after the
Yeah,
game.
that's
That's a scary thing because I know you set me off on this journey after all the multiple surgeries. You were like, this is not good.
Yeah.
This is what happens NFL regular every season. I don't know if Colt McCoy is all right.
I'd love to if he's on the pup. Rob and I are on the same page. We're going pup for Colt right away.
I don't want to lose him. I don't
No.
want Mark Sanchez-ish people. I took my son to a game and Mark Sanchez was the quarterback. I was disgusted with
We said
myself.
we're never gonna talk
I
about
took
that.
like 13 showers. It didn't wash off.
No, and again, when your starting quarterback shows up in a little bag that has a little puppy in it and it can fit in his little quarterback purse, you don't have a football player on your hands.
I want to open
Get a
hand smack
scarf.
Mark Sanchez in the mouth.
Oh,
I
it
don't
makes me
feel
so
that way
mad.
about people. I don't.
No, but it was.
And you know what?
it
I'm
was
sure
low
he's a
point.
very nice guy.
I
Just don't like him as a football player.
I'm not willing to even suggest that. I have no idea. Basically, he stomped on my heart from the pocket of at FedEx Field. And you know what? It was a really solid FU from Bruce Allen and Dan Snyder. I feel like that day. So that's why
They shit on your house.
They shit on my house.
Shit in my house,
They shit
man.
on your house, man.
Shit in my house, man.
God. All right, so we're keeping Colt McCoy as long as he can walk. I'm
I
keeping
will
him on
shit
the
on Mark
team.
Sanchez's house with you guys if you
Oh.
agree to do it with me.
Oh, can I be in on
Yeah,
that?
oh, yeah, you're definitely going to be in on it.
Nice.
I think you have to be the driver, but I will fling the bag if Ken lights it.
It's a team effort. We'll figure out whose role is what. But at the end of the day,
That's shit, Mark Sanchez.
That
So
wasn't
we've
Cape Island.
established. So we've established that Jimmy Moreland is going to start, not just make the team, but start.
Oh, I don't know if we said that.
No, I know, I did.
he's playing in week 1.
That Haskins.
Oh, yeah, he's getting
that
snaps,
Haskins is not on mission week 1,
No, it
No.
shouldn't be.
and that we're all going to just go shit on Sanchez's house.
Yeah.
Hey,
That's
a good
good
Tuesday.
way. That's good.
I knew this was going to end
All right,
positively.
there we go.
We got you all the way back to the Can't
There's
Buy
a
Me
recap
Love.
if you
Hey,
just
guys,
joined us.
if you guys can give us an address,
Go back and listen if you'd like.
Yeah.
we'll,
And
we'll live stream it. Whoever wants to join in.
do us a favor. If you haven't already done it, please give us a subscription to the First Amendment Sports YouTube
Smash it.
channel. Smash the subscription button. We have offered it up for free. It's totally for free. Appreciate all of you guys hanging out with us on Tuesday, hanging out with us on your drive-in to work on Wednesday morning or home on Wednesday afternoon. We will have another contest, a preseason game this Thursday night at FedEx Field, I believe.
Bengals?
Cincinnati Bengals. Jay Gruden's former operation in town. We'll figure out what's good and bad about that. We will find the positive in the NFL's preseason
We
as
always find the positive.
as it stands. We
I
always
just
find
found
the
another
positive.
positive. If we bring Baker Mayfield to go shit on Mark Sanchez's house, he's going to be the one that gets caught, right?
Yeah, the cops are going to
Baker
catch him
Mayfield,
first.
nothing
He's
happened.
coming.
I'm
He's
putting
coming.
my shit
He's
on
coming.
Rabbit. I'm out of there.
And Baker Mayfield gets tackled again by a security guard. I understand. Ah ha ha ha. My hero is tackled by a security guard. Maybe we can trade
There
Trent
He
Williams.
was
goes
shit
my
faced too.
hero.
You don't throw that in there all the time. He was
Buddy,
shit faced.
buddy, we grew up together. Listen,
I ran a
superhuman
little
things
slower.
happened in that condition. Listen, I was Jim Brown shit-faced running through the streets in Northeast Washington, D.C. I got home, and like my Uncle Jack said, just don't get caught. If you're going to act like a fool, don't
Arkansas
get caught.
is
If you
different
do,
state.
tell the
It's
truth.
different
Tell
in
the
That's all I
truth.
was told.
Things are always
Tell the
slower in
truth.
Arkansas. So
Well,
Yeah, mostly Baker Mayfield.
it's like the toilet flushes in reverse in Australia. It's just some things are that's just the way it goes in some places. But until next Tuesday night, he's Kevin Ricka.
Yeah, that was awesome. Thanks, guys, for listening. Appreciate the participation. It makes it a ton of fun. Love you guys.
He's Tim Strachan.
no, I second that. It's been a great night, guys. Appreciate it. Check it out. Spread the word. Getting ready for a huge season, man.
I think you say spread the word. We're going to shit on Sanchez's house.
That too.
Spread the word.
That too.
There will be some shit on somebody's house. We're not going to be specific because this is this is on a live show.
It is the
It's
Can't
actually
Buy
very
Me-
specific.
For
It's
those who are
actually
asking, it
extremely
is the
specific.
Can't Buy Me Love.
How can we get
Yeah.
to be more
Right.
specific? Yeah, we're just doing a bit. This is totally doing a bit. James, don't get us in trouble. Appreciate all you guys. We will be back next Tuesday night.
Oh yeah, see you in 2 weeks. Me.
Yeah, we get some excused
miss you guys.
absences. We'll be back with you in 2 weeks.
Keep the ship going while I'm away.
We'll do what we can.
All right, good.
We'll figure it out. I'm Ken Marangolo, and this was the Audible. All right, we're still live.
Good stuff, guys. Good chat tonight. Thank you.
Was Mark Sanchez even born before Can't Buy Me Love came out? Probably not, right?
He was alive.